Transform, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is Ben Slinger in his room again.
Yeah. It's been a week for you listening, but for us it's been about
Half an hour.
Because we are doing...
Well, Ben's about to go away.
I'm about to go away for a week, so...
So, yeah, we thought it might be good to quickly record these two. So if you liked the sound last week, well, guess what? You get the same sound again this week.
Smooth.
Yeah, it feels pretty smooth. We had a quick listen, and it sounds pretty schmick. So hopefully it is schmick for all you out there. But again, we're just going to play some ramped up click pitch. Again, it is a game where we each have a random word generator in front of us. We're going to get two words, adjective and a noun. We're going to throw them at each other. We're going to come up with a game design out of that. And then we're just going to move on.
That's it. If the freaking site will load for me. I'm getting connection reset from Watch Out for Snakes.
Oh.
So maybe Trevor's going to give us a word.
So I'm going to give us two words.
And yeah, we're going to riff off that. So let's do it.
Yeah, so... Ooh, this is fun. Suave emblem.
Oh, okay. Emblem's interesting. I always like something based around some, like a symbol or some sort of object of power or something.
Yeah. And then suave kind of says spy or...
Yeah. You don't get a lot of kind of mixture of spy thrillers and supernatural sort of stuff or like fantasy sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that could be an interesting sort of mix.
It could definitely be, one of those sort of things of you're a spy for, like, the Pope or something like that.
Yeah, you could go, yeah. I'm definitely getting, it's sort of like an Indiana Jones vibe, but instead of the swashbuckling adventure, it's the James Bond tropes of being a spy, but like, yeah, then there's these objects of power that you end up getting mixed up in. So what sort of game then do you reckon?
I mean, Indy did do a very good job with the first person. I mean, third person is always going to work for this sort of thing.
Yeah, I do. First person's pretty good. I'm trying to think of the last time we had a first person spy-ish game. And I'm thinking all the way back to, obviously, there's GoldenEye and the other James Bond ones. There's No One Lives Forever, which is a bit more of a shooter, but, she was a spy, technically.
I like the idea of taking that very Splinter Cell sort of
so
feel.
Lots of sneaking, lots of stealth sort of stuff.
But a first-person stealth.
First-person stealth.
Or are we going to do like a Dishonored sort of thing where it is that, you choose your way through the world? True,
yeah. Interestingly, Dishonored is a little bit like what we're talking about in a sense, in that it's got the magic stuff in there. But I think I like the idea more of it. It's a relatively like our world, but the conspiracies of the magic items that have been hidden or whatever sort of thing. Yeah. So less like magic is everywhere, and it's, because Dishonored is very steampunk and that sort of thing. But I'm thinking, maybe we set it in like the 70s or the 80s, like you go down the Bond-ish sort of tropes, the classic Bond stuff.
Yep.
But instead of the cool gadgets that Bond gets, you end up with fucking magic powers essentially, or like ways to, you can actually go invisible for a short amount of time once you find like the particular artifact that the villain was,
Yeah. I mean, this is bringing up very much, that Crisis feel to it as well, where you had, the different powers that you could get through the suit.
Yeah.
Which also felt pretty cool.
Definitely.
In that game.
Yeah, I like that idea of, I think having some of the Dishonored stuff of, again, the immersive sim sort of thing of you've got kind of various systems in the levels just interacting. And you're making your way through that, but definitely focusing much more on stealth and gunplay.
Yeah. Stealth, and it doesn't have to be stealth. It can just be, you've hidden yourself in to this organization, and you
can have social stealth
espionage.
As well, basically. Yeah, you're doing espionage, and so you can have some dialogue stuff. I mean, that's a huge part of the James Bond stuff, right? Is he just shows up at the bar and gets a drink, and starts talking up the henchman or the femme fatale.
He'll talk up with the ladies to get an in with
the villain. Yeah,
with the villain
for sure. But then, you can start mixing in these magical things. Like you've got your version of Q, but they're like
so that artifact that you found in the last thing, we found out that it's got. If we put it with this technology, it unlocks this power for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you get the hair of someone and place it on this artifact, like it will,
you look like them.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like that sort of thing. That's cool. I like that. And then I think you can, you either take it very mission based or the mix that is Dishonored in a way where it's like, oh, okay, well, you've got a few different quests at a particular time or like leads that you can potentially follow, but they'll take you to isolated areas that then have their own kind of system set up or events or different things. Yeah. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Wizard spy thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Wizard Spy, that's literally the name of the game. Ooh, okay. Thornia Squirm.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm thinking like worms or something, like fishing maybe. I went to fishing because, like, obviously it's not thorns, but like the hook, like piercing a squirm.
But when you said worms, I immediately thought rose garden. And you got the thorns of them, and imagine playing
maybe like we don't do this sort of game very often, but maybe like a kind of puzzle, like a puzzle action, or like a Meat Boy-esque sort of thing, Super Meat Boy kind of vibe, but it's because you are a worm, it's like you're having to sort of control maybe your different ends at once or something, or like you could have some interesting mechanics with, or maybe it's a thing of like splitting in two and having two of you
that you're now controlling.
That you now control, and maybe only one of them has to get through, or like that could be interesting.
That could be interesting.
Because then you're almost using those thorns, like that thorny environment.
Yeah. To impale yourself on.
I know, I'm thinking you could make it really graphic. Like
you draw yourself onto it as like, okay.
You just get like a squish and you have to like pull each end of yourself down
and apart. Because I'm actually imagining that, your game worms, you have that anthropomorphic face, but of course when you rip yourself in half,
new one appears,
like a new face appears on the other one, and
grows out of the tear,
very similar to you, and then the tail grows. But you've got little arms, sort of things, because the worms actually had arms in.
I guess you could.
Otherwise, it feels very much like Snake Pass.
Yeah, and that's fine. I don't mind the arms.
You can burrow into the ground for a little bit.
Well, I'm kind of wondering I'm sort of just thinking of the controls. Like maybe you are, maybe there is sort of gravity and stuff, but you can grab onto things with those little arms that are just like out the side of one end of your head. Like but you're long, like, because but especially by the time you get to the later ones of the Worms series, they're very caricaturized. Like they're barely long anymore. They're just sort of like a little weird stumpy, big head slug thing. But I'm thinking in this case, it's like, no, you're still a pretty long worm. You do have these little arms and you can grab onto things, and that can sort of help you. Like then you can pull up, you can lift your back half up to sort of kind of actually wiggle a bit. And
wiggle it up a little bit, which is, really kind of cool. I do like that. I also want to make sure that the person playing the game is going to squirm in their seat a little bit when they see how visceral it is.
Oh, yeah.
They get ripped apart. Yeah. And it's a cutscene that you can't cut away from.
Or just, like an animation that plays out.
Basically, what I'm imagining is that this is a game where you have to have a camera, and we can detect if your eyelids are closed. Because it will pause.
There are games that do that. There are games that use the camera and detect eyelids, detect blinking. just for that cutscene. Like that's the only reason. Like there's no action. It's like watch the horror.
You're going to see every second of this.
That's kind of traumatizing.
You close your eyes, you reopen it, it's closer.
There is some. Maybe should be a different game, but there is some cool stuff you could do with like blink detection.
It's that blink and you miss it sort of thing of. Oh, anytime that you're blinking and you open it up, there's a chance of something being in a reflective surface or something like that.
That then disappears quickly.
That then disappears quickly.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a different game. Yeah. Maybe we should move on to that game.
Okay, yeah. So, I think, VR, you got to kind of, the eye tracking stuff.
If you can, There are some that can do that, right? I think only the PS2 VR is the main.
PSVR 2, yeah, is the only one that can really.
No, I mean the VR that they brought out for the PS2, Trevor. The eye toy.
Yeah.
And, if you strapped an eye toy to your
face, all it could do is the eyes. It couldn't detect any.
Yeah. No, yeah, the PSVR 2. You could do it with that. Or, you could do it on a regular screen with a webcam or on a phone for that matter, which I think generally is what the games that I've seen do it.
Yeah. You have to have your phone set up with LiDAR and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you could go to that. If Apple hadn't fucking patented it or whatever they've done that make it to prevent any other phone from having that very useful technology.
Yeah. It's just weird that, the VRs and all that sort of stuff are able to use LiDAR for...
I wonder if it's just in the context of phones and faces potentially that they've,
The thing is, you could still allow them to have the fucking LiDAR technology, just not have it on the front.
Maybe, yeah.
And then they can have it on the back, and then the back is fine. Yeah. Like, you can do some
AR stuff, and you can do it. Yeah, it would be useful. That's the one thing that frustrates me about not having an iPhone is, Well, I saw a game the other day. Oh, was that the new Sims-ish one called like Inzoi or something? Anyway, it's got a whole thing where you can feed in. You can use Live Link or whatever it is to feed in facial capture, and you can do motion capture directly to control your Sims. Okay,
that's cool.
They're not Sims. There's always.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Cool.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yep. 3, 2, 1, click. Okay, this is interesting. Clattering caress.
Caress. Oh, okay. It's like being felt up by the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz.
Dorothy wakes from the poppies.
Oh, God. Oil can.
Oh, no.
It's the Tin Cell Man.
Oh, no. He's just posting on all the message boards.
She really lubed me up. Lubed my joints.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click. We'll just...
Give us plausible deniability.
There is no coming back from that. Hell no, that's staying in. That was classic. Waterproof clown.
Okay. Invincible to the old water spray in the flower.
Pretty much, yeah.
Is this a competitive game where you've got all sorts of clown-based things, and so one of the power-ups is to be waterproof? Yeah.
It's waterproof makeup.
Oh, it's all about
getting the makeup off their face.
Yeah. So you're just running around with wet wipes and makeup remover.
And in the last resort, isopropyl alcohol.
Just pour alcohol on them.
That'll eat through any, makeup. Okay, yeah, I really like this.
Yeah, I don't know how well the competitive stuff would actually work, but I do like something around makeup, like clown makeup, and removing it or not is definitely cool. I mean, you could go narrative with it. You could have like these, criminal clowns kind of thing who they each have their own distinctive makeup.
Yeah.
And maybe you're trying to infiltrate
and you are the one tasked with going, underwater and sort of coming up with this out of the scuba gear. But of course, you got to keep your clown makeup on at the end. And that's just the start of it. And then it's like a huge Metal Gear Solid sort of like
right, yeah,
big
story, yeah.
You trying to get in to where all the other clowns are, and you're effectively infiltrating this place. By day you're clowns that work for a circus, and by night you're clowns that work for an international clown
crime syndicate.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thing is, you don't know who the other people are because you've got different makeup for the different clown jobs.
Well, and I like the idea then of the makeup like potentially changing as you work your way through this organization as well.
It's like, oh, now we need to camouflage ourselves. I can't be happy clown now. I need to be sad clown. Well, put a couple of teardrops.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's sort of. I'm thinking like to everyone else that they wouldn't notice, but the clowns, there's specific makeup that you can only use if you're like ranked highly enough. You can't use the particular shade of red paint around the mouth or whatever. Or you can't do a sad mouth. Like sad mouths are clowns
they're
are high up in
that's
in the
an admiral pretty much. Like
taking
I mean, there's one of the tropes of those sort of things, but one of your team gets killed early on and it turns out that they're not actually dead. They fake their own death. They're actually in with this other organization.
Yeah, they just rub the paint off and no one recognizes them.
Pretty much.
That's how you go undercover outside of the clown thing. Is
Okay, I don't know. I really like this idea of it being, your Metal Gear Solid infiltrating a compound.
Do you go serious with it then, or do you go wacky and like there's stupid clown related stuff that you
have to do? There's stupid clown related stuff, but it is so serious. Like,
oh yeah, it takes itself seriously. Certainly.
It takes itself seriously, but it is stupid as all fuck.
It's like you get down into the vault of the government, organization, and you have to create a key out of your balloon, like a balloon key, to get in. Just turn it in the big wacky
lock. It's a balloon shaped lock, like it's actually balloon shaped.
Because the government has their own set of clowns.
Exactly.
There's Fed clowns. So there you go. This is what the thing we were talking about a couple of weeks ago with calling the Feds.
Yeah.
It's definitely the Fed version of clowns. They all pile out of the clown car in their suits. They've got their suits, but still the makeup.
Still the makeup, yeah.
The wacky hair, big shoes.
But
shiny.
And of course, the guy that, got killed at the very start, he's the last one out of the car.
You just see the big shiny leather shoe come out, like the big oversized shoe, come down on the ground, pans up. And
he's in a suit.
Oh, yeah. He's in a suit, but then he's got the big, like, bushy red hair.
Oh, it's rainbow.
Oh, the rainbow
It's rainbow.
And that's how you recognize him.
He's got, different makeup on,
Oh, yeah.
But you can still
serious.
tell, like,
the Feds use
really
specific colours.
In fact, they make their eyebrows sort of in, like, the evil eyebrows. But of course, when they then smile, they look really evil then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's how you can tell. Like, and instead of, a lot of the time the Feds wear sunglasses, it's in the makeup.
Paint the sunglasses on.
And they put contacts in.
I love.
They put contacts in.
No, what I was going to say though,
because otherwise you can see the whites of the eyes.
But that's what I was going to say though. Is he walks out and it pans up and you see and the sunglasses are painted on, and then he realizes he's got his eyes closed for effect because then he opens his eyes and they just appear in the middle of the sunglasses. That's the only way they can do it.
I just thought of, that whole trope of, your CSI where they take the glasses off, when there's a pun, they
just wipes them off.
Like they get a wipe out. He says it, and then they pause for
Looks
30 seconds as
this
he's wiping
clown.
it
wipe,
and reapplies the white makeup in between on his eyes. Is going to clown town. Oh shit! I lost it.
Damn it! Yeah, I had one, but
hang on. Let me just reapply. Reapply the sunglasses again. Or for some reason he's able to actually take the glasses off, and it's like, what the fuck?
He's got magic like makeup changing skills. It's just camouflage face.
No, I really love that. That seriousness of the Metal Gear Solid. You're infiltrating
yeah, the whole thing of it taking itself seriously, but they're all clowns. Like that's perfect.
Of course, this is what clowns are everywhere, and you would never suspect it.
Yeah, no one suspects the clown.
But then to find out that there is a federal
clown division
institution or whatever,
yeah, the FCI
or the CIA is actually the clown
institute, clown investigation agency or something. Yeah.
Like the central,
it's the other CIA. It's the Clown Institute of America.
But they were the first one.
But they had it first. They've been established since like 1923 or whatever.
Now they've been relegated to C.I of A.
C.I of A. Oh, God.
Fuck, that's so good. That's so good. The second word is acquittal.
Okay.
And the first word is rimmed.
Rimmed acquittal?
You can see why I did the first word second.
So it's about basketball.
Yes. Not about rim jobs.
No.
No.
Well, only as they apply to basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when they're slamming down and like one of the opposing players is like licking the other guy's ass.
Yeah, when they're hanging off the rim.
Exactly.
The rim on the rim.
3-2 on click. Cropped foghorn.
Ooh. Cropped foghorn. Just cuts off. Then this thing, faulty foghorn. Although that's an interesting, like, scene. You could have that scene of like, why did this foghorn, like, why did this boat? A boat disappeared, right?
Yeah,
and there's footage or whatever of you could see it coming through the fog. The foghorn's going off, and then it just like blips out of existence or something. And
you see like the turbulence, sort of, so it was there
in the fog.
In the fog.
Yeah.
So it's. Literally, and the fog just comes in and settles in on the void.
Yeah, that's cool. Actually, maybe it's coming from the other way as well. Though maybe you're investigating it after it's reappeared somewhere.
Okay,
and
so
you're trying to figure out what happened.
Feels a bit Bermuda Triangle-y, but it's
but it didn't. It happened just off the coast of whatever,
Yeah, it hadn't happened nowhere near there, but it has that feel to it.
Yeah,
and it appeared on the other side of the world.
Yeah, in a desert or something, or in a
or on the top of a mountain or some
on a high-rise building. Yeah,
that'd be actually amazing.
Like just like through it, like it's actually phased through it, and then so you end up traveling through this thing partially through buildings, and then you have to like open spin the freaking valve lock or whatever and go into the boat.
Okay. Are we thinking that this is like a rip in space-time sort of dealy, or is it?
Yeah, I wonder, or like an alien kind of thing. I mean, it's because of the ship thing and the mystery, it's given me Obra Dinn vibes. I don't know if you go deductive with it in that way.
No,
it'd be a bit
doesn't
harder
feel like that
to do that sort of that level of kind of sci-fi or mystery of how do you figure that out? It's going to be something extraordinary, essentially unexplained. Are there people still on there, or did the people not come back? did they come back at various other spots or something? Like
one of the crew, and it was a skeleton crew. It was like 3 people on the boat.
Like it was a passenger
but
ship
they were
or something,
also partly phased through this building as well. Like one of them's cut in half,
or at least
their head, is like, partial way through bisected into concrete, and it's like, oh fuck.
Well, I like the idea that like two of them died instantly, but one of them has managed to stay alive and conscious just because of the way they happened to phase through it. Kind of didn't hit any of their vital organs. Yep. They're still like
they've lost a left leg in their right foot. Like that's the only part that was through. But it was
so they're sort of managing to keep them alive for now, and you can go and question and sort of determine.
And when they cut it off, it's like literally the atoms of the concrete and flesh are intertwined. Oh, there's something about that is just so wrong.
Yeah,
and it's like there's no way out of it. Like it's a lost cause.
Oh no, he's not gonna. Yeah, you can't save him from that. This isn't.
Well, you can save this guy, and he
might live like with the amputations and stuff. But like, we don't have a. In a show like Stargate or something, they'd like find a way to undo the thing or whatever with it. No, this is just...
It's fucked.
Yeah.
Shit's fucked. Okay, I love that. Love that. You're investigating this. You're a paranormal investigator sort of thing. Like...
Yeah, I mean, it could be sort of an X-Files kind of thing.
I was thinking along those lines that you're the people that they call... when these sort of things go down.
It's a point and click, then maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that working well as a point and click.
And
maybe
it's like
maybe a 3D, or maybe
you can then look back at some of the previous cases and find out, these are the sort of things that have actually happened here. And there's something about that I really, really like. That, there's history behind these two partners. Like, they've just gone through some sort of fight, or
because I'm just thinking, I like the idea of you're getting to go through the government's files for the first time. So maybe it's actually that there's someone who's in the government, and then there's your character who has been doing their own thing as like a private paranormal investigator sort of thing.
Yep.
There was a previous relationship, but then they've brought you in on this case.
Like your Men in Black. This is your is your chance to sort of prove what you can actually do.
Yeah, kind of. And so then it's like, oh, okay, shit, like the government knows a lot more about this than we realize. They've got all these files and stuff. And so, you do get to start doing this extra research and filtering that through this old colleague of yours or whatever. Maybe, it could be like they started out as your assistant or something, went up the rank, like disappeared or maybe they did just disappear. Like they just left without trace one day without telling you why. And you're like, oh, great, they've just gone on gone astray or whatever, quit the job. But it was actually that they got recruited into the government and couldn't tell anyone about it.
And now they're
coming to you. They're like, oh, my old mentor.
My partner is just...
Oh, yeah, their partner's died or something. And
has just retired. And now it's my turn to choose the next person. I thought I'd come back to you and, like, give you a chance to see what's on the other side.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, there's a franchise there.
Yeah. I mean... Thinking about it now, I'm like, I would love to be investigating this sort of thing and finding, what is the reason, what is the connection of this town to where they ended up, getting moved to. Why is there that connection there?
Well, I mean, I kind of like the idea of, particularly not to get too far ahead, but like particularly if you're sort of planning that you would grow this world in other games potentially down the line. And thinking of Stargate kind of made me think of this too, is like you almost have a first contact situation happening or something, or like you're discovering this wider world of technology and science fiction-y sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And, it turns out that it's it's a fucking alien prank or something in the end. But the way that you end up finding that out is like meeting this alien civilization and they help you track down these people because they're essentially juvenile delinquents from these aliens who stole a fucking phase generator or whatever. But then you, as that partnership, become like the liaison to that, because now you've got a history with that alien race or whatever, and so like the next time something happens, then you could see that building up into the thing of like, oh, okay, humans and Earth start establishing themselves in the kind of interstellar society. And
I mean, later on in the game, you can almost see, recruiting another member, but you're recruiting a member from the alien race, and they become like your partner.
You get your tilk.
and then they like have like a skin suit they can sort of put on, and they're
you were doing the zipping motion. I like that. Zipping up your skin suit.
But there's something about that what if your partner that was training you was actually part of this alien world, and they took over this skin suit sort of thing?
Maybe.
I don't know.
They'd been there the whole... Yeah. I do like the idea of it being very much this discovery and introduction into it, though. I feel like there's not much in games in that sort of vibe of the kind of the less high concept sci-fi of something like Stargate, or like a Farscape, or your different, or I mean even a Star Trek. Really, obviously Star Trek, you've got a bit of a vibe in certain games and actual licensed games, but I don't know, that's cool.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that you could do with this, but I don't know. There's something there, and I wouldn't mind exploring it at some stage, seeing what we can do. But that is the end.
That's it. Holy moly. All right, well, if you want to find all of our previous episodes online, you can go to podchaser.com/bitstorm and check them out.
If you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Man Defiance off of the album Container Failure by the band Kurudust. Find it at kurudust.bandcamp.com for free, as well as a lot of other songs.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott. And I've been an alien all along.
Zip.